Have you ever had a dream about heaven? Could certain dreams reveal our heavenly home? Well, let's talk about places in dreams that represent heaven. Imagine a dream where you're in a place of eternal joy, peace, and serenity. Many people have had dreams of going to heaven or being in heaven. A dream of seeing yourself in heaven doesn't automatically mean that you're going to die. Dreaming of heaven can have different meanings. But could you have dreamt about heaven and not know it? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about 7 locations in a dream that can represent heaven. Now, keep in mind that the places I mention can represent other things in a dream, but for this video, I'm specifically talking about how these particular places can be symbolic of heaven. Number 1, a castle or a palace. A castle is a fortified structure that is inhabited by nobility and royalty. In Genesis 25:16, it says, "These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations." A castle or a palace is the official home of a king, queen, or other people of high rank. Now, the Word of God says that if you are born again, you are considered royalty. 1 Peter 2:9 says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." And we're familiar with some well-known places where royals live, such as Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace in England. So if you dream that you're in a castle and you're enjoying being there, you're having fun, perhaps there are other people there, like family and friends, the castle can represent heaven. Now, if you dream that you're locked in a castle and can't get out, this would have a totally different meaning. So always remember that context is king. You would interpret every dream according to what's happening inside of the dream. But a castle or a palace in a dream can absolutely represent heaven. Number 2, a garden. When God created the Garden of Eden, He intended it to be a paradise on earth. In fact, the name Eden means a delightful place. So a garden in a dream can be symbolic of a place of peace. Revelation 22 describes the New Jerusalem as resembling aspects of the Garden of Eden. It says, "And He showed me a river of the water of life, clear as crystal, coming from the throne of God and of the Lamb in the middle of its street. On either side of the river was the tree of life, bearing 12 kinds of fruit, yielding its fruit every month." So if you find yourself in a garden in a dream, it can be speaking of heaven. Number 3, a field of flowers. Someone I know once had a terminally ill relative who was on hospice care. They prayed continually for miraculous healing. Well, one day, a friend of the family had a dream that they saw the sick relative in a field of flowers, looking healthy and happy. Because of that dream, everyone was hopeful and expected a full turnaround. But a short time later, the sick person died. So the field of flowers in that dream was speaking of the sick person's death and was symbolic of them being happy in a heavenly place. So if you dream about a field of flowers, again, according to what's happening in the dream, you see yourself or someone else, it could represent heaven. Number 4, a new city. Seeing yourself in a new city in a dream can have different meanings depending on what's happening, but you can have a dream where you or someone you know is moving or relocating to a new city, and it could also be New York City, and this can represent moving from earth to heaven. Revelation 21:2 says, "And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So if you have a dream that you're relocating, you or someone else are moving to another town, another city, or another country, this can represent the New Jerusalem or heaven. Number 5, a mansion. Have you ever had a dream that you are in a mansion? Well, when I was a teen, I had a dream that I was walking up a flight of stairs in my mansion in heaven, and I was very aware that I was in my own mansion and that I was in heaven. Jesus spoke about this in John 14, which says, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If that were not so, I would have told you, because I am going there to prepare a place for you." So having this type of dream doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to soon die. I had this dream as a teenager, and I'm still here decades later. God could simply be showing you your future heavenly home. So if you have a dream that you're in a mansion, this could be speaking of your mansion or your home in heaven. Number 6, a large church or temple. So you can have a dream where you're in a large building, such as a church, temple, or tabernacle. These places could represent the dwelling place of the presence of God. And depending on what's happening in the dream, these buildings can also represent heaven. I once had a dream that I was in a huge building and there was a crowd of people, so many people. Some of the people were from my past and some were from my present. There were also people there from my past who had already passed on, and I was talking to them as if they were still alive. Everyone was so happy, and I remember there was lots of food and fellowship and fun, and it seemed like a big family reunion. So when I woke up, I knew that the dream was a scene in heaven. So a large church, temple, or tabernacle in a dream can be symbolic of heaven, particularly if there are other people or people you know in the dream. And number 7, you can have a dream that you're actually in heaven. So the dream can be literal, point blank, that you are in heaven and you know it in the dream. Many people have had dreams of heaven where they're actually there. Have you had a dream about heaven? If you've dreamt about any of these scenarios, had dreams with any of these scenarios that I mentioned in the video, or if you ever had a dream that you or someone you know was in heaven, leave it in the comment section. Hey, have you picked up your copy of The Mysterious Language of Dreams yet? In this book, I go more in depth about dreams and dream interpretation than I do on my YouTube videos. I talk about the depth dimension of dreams, dream layers. I talk about the time dimension of a dream. Also, dreams and the imagination, which is quite interesting. I also have put over 40 real-life actual dreams that people have dreamt in the book for you to practice your interpretation skills. Also in the back of the book is a dream dictionary with over 400 dream symbols. So I've left a link in the description box below where you can go and pick up your copy of The Mysterious Language of Dreams today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you all next time.